no, you're Davina, you're very ambitious. You want to go back. We know you. And I was like, I found it quite hard to share with people because I thought I was that person. So who am I now? Where have I gone? And I disappeared for a bit. All through their childhood, I thought the goal for me is that my children walk away from me and never look back. Not because they hate me, but because they feel really confident and they are looking forward to going out and living their lives, and I want to try and prepare them for the big bad world out there and make them excited to go be in it. Often I can't talk about it without crying.
Yeah.
And I know that some women go through a birth that slightly makes them feel like that. And I think that means it was traumatic for me. I'm one of those people who tries to put a positive spin on everything.
Yeah.
And I spend all my time going, I knew if I got through it, this would be the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And I do feel so grateful still, but I know I've got to go back and do some work on this.
Right, should we get cracking then? Is that what you're saying? Okay, everything sound good to you?
I'm so excited.
Okay, all right.
God.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Happy Mum, Happy Baby, the podcast. Today we have a returning guest. She's a TV presenter, she's a podcast host, she's an author. She is a fucking amazing human. She's got 3 kids. It's Davina McCall.
I'm so excited to be a returning guest.
Well, but you came on in series, you opened series 2 back in 2018.
Yeah, isn't that mad?
It's incredible. And then we did the Disney podcast together, in which we just cried the entire time and held hands. I love it. We came and we spoke about motherhood. There were tears, but, you know, it was fine. We were separated. We talked about Disney and we had to hold hands.
We were in bits. I mean, like, it's so funny because when I do karaoke, I always want to be Mariah Carey, like I have that kind of, but I am just a musical theatre singer. That is my strength.
Yeah.
And obviously all the songs that I know are Disney. So
what's your go-to karaoke song?
Colours of the Wind.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit of Pocahontas.
Yeah. Just around the river bend.
It's been a while since a guest sang to me.
Wow. I mean, don't even get me started because I could be serenading you and we haven't got long.
We haven't.
I've got to go
get snappy. Because it's publication day for you.
Yes, it's really
exciting. So this is going out next Tuesday. We're filming this on Thursday. But you've got a brand new book out.
Yes.
Birthing.
Yes.
I mean, I guess let's go back first before we dive into that. Simply because what you did for menopause was massive, absolutely massive. And I know it's that thing of, you know, doing this podcast, you always meet different guests from different generations who sort of start going, just no one was talking about it.
Yes.
No one was talking about birth in that way. No, I didn't know this. I didn't know that. I feel like menopause has been that thing.
It was.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. No one talks about it.
And weirdly, you know, it still has a hangover of that now. Like we still have work to do, all of us, to stop the shame and the embarrassment about menopause, because it's actually a fantastic time of our lives. But we just got to navigate perimenopause to get somewhere fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the amount of guy friends I have that say to me, I watched Davina's documentary, or what you're doing, you know, what she's doing for, you know, it's got me understanding things that are happening, and, you know, what I can do to help or just be aware of, so that to take the pressure off in some way.
I met a 60-year-old man after the documentary had gone out, and he he was actually delivering something, and I opened the door and he went, "Oh, it's you," and he had a little cry. And I was like, "Mate, are you okay?" And he went, "Yeah, I saw your documentary the other night." And I said, "Oh, like, what happened?" And he said, "I thought my wife didn't love me anymore." And I was like, "But what now?" And he said, "We talked about it." And he said, "It's changed my life." He said, "I realise she does love me. She really needs my help." And I was like, "Mate, this is amazing news." And I thought, well, my God, if it's reaching out that far and helping men understand perhaps that it wasn't about them, that it is just a physiological thing that happens to us women, and we literally are powerless. And what to do in order to help or support is like, it was brilliant those few days after that went out to get kind of feedback from people.
Really?
Yeah, it was magic. You must get that from your pod here, like that. It's just two people sitting in a studio, and you think, well, what difference is it going to make? But actually, you must get people all the time contacting you, going, "You've made a difference to the type of birth that I had, or the type of parent that I am." It's magic, that.
And I think when someone's going through the menopause, from the different conversations that I've had, this sudden feeling within you not being, you're no longer you. Do you know what I mean? There's that feeling of loss of control or anger, whatever those feelings are. And actually, I do liken it to early motherhood.
Yes.
When the same thing kind of occurs. And, we know the leading cause of death in new mums is suicide. We know that. And I wonder if there's another correlation between women in menopause or perimenopause, when there's that thing slipping away, that feeling of slipping.
Do you know what's interesting is you just said something there, and it is often the first symptom that a woman might come and tell me she has, and that is, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I just don't feel myself.
Yeah.
And I think I also felt that after I had a baby.
Yeah.
My first baby, I remember being fiercely and unapologetically ambitious before I had Holly. I loved work. I wanted to do well. I would never stand on someone's head to get somewhere, but I would get there an hour early. I would work twice as hard. I would do so much research. And I gave birth to Holly, and I looked at her, and I fell so in love. And I thought, oh, I never want to work again.
Really?
I just want to be with you. And then I was like, and then I tried to talk to people about it. And I said, I quite want to stay at home. Like, I don't want to go back to work. And they were like, yeah, but you don't mean that. You're Davina. Like, you don't mean. And nobody could quite handle that idea.
Also, there is that, isn't there? The fact that you're Davina and the fact that you bring joy, like at that point as well, doing Big Brother, doing these shows that give us so much. So it is that thing of, no, you can't do that, because actually, what would we do?
And also, I think because it looks like I enjoy my job so much, which I do.
But it's hard work. You make something that's hard work look really easy.
But it's still really good fun.
Yeah.
That they can't really believe that I really mean it.
Yeah.
No, you're Davina, you're very ambitious. You want to go back. Like, we know you. And I was like, I found it quite hard to share with people, because I thought, I was that person. So who am I now? Where have I gone?
Yeah.
And I disappeared for a bit. But I went back to work because I had to. I had to make money because I had a life, that I had to pay for, mortgage and responsibilities. Yeah. So I went to work because I had to. And I did actually love my work. And I was very, very lucky. I could do a 4-day week.
Yeah.
So I could have 3 days at home with the kids. But it was challenging, kind of trying to come to terms with. So I do really understand that where have I gone thing.
Yeah. But but then life seems to not fall into place a little bit, but you kind of grapple with it a little bit and juggle, and you find your way. And then perimenopause starts.
Yeah.
Usually at a point where your kids need you less. And then you go through another identity crisis or an internal crisis that you just feel so lost within.
I mean, hysterically, often it's when your kids become teenagers.
Yeah.
And as a perimenopausal woman, often you kind of become like a teenager as well. Emotional, angry, the rage. We've talked about that quite a lot. Like in the perimenopausal journey, it's not everybody gets it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a 0 to 60 juggernaut of a thing where somebody who's not a rageful... I'm such a pacifist. But I remember asking the kids nicely to get in the car to go to school 2 or 3 times. And then the third time, it was like shouting, swearing. And they all look at you like, who is that?
Yeah.
And we all get in the car and I see them all quiet, but a bit nervous. And then I burst into tears and I think, who was that? I don't even recognise this person. And I just thought, as many women do, I'm too young.
Yeah.
I can't be perimenopausal. I was 43. I'm way too young and attractive. When you think, no, but when you think...
You have an idea of what that looks
like. A perimenopausal woman is like grey hair, knitting needles and sort of, I don't know, like retired and sitting. I just had, I knew nothing.
But the difficult thing about that situation is you would carry so much shame and embarrassment that you allowed yourself to go, which so many mums, I have to believe that so many mums get to that place just to alleviate everything that I then carry and, put on myself. I have to believe that so many of us get to that point and feel so lost and don't know where to turn. So it's amazing that you open up the conversation.
Well, thank you. Good. I mean, I did it as much for me as for anybody else. I managed to find some experts and just try and amplify them. I mean, you and I are similar. We are amplifiers. We get people on who know their shizzle.
Yeah.
And we go, let's get you to tell your story to everybody. This is why I love being a woman, because if you tell 10 women something, you've got 10 listeners, those 10 listeners will go to a dinner party, a girls' evening in 3 nights' time, and they will tell another 10 who will go and tell another 10 2 days later. It's unbelievable, the network that we have as women. It's so powerful.
Absolutely. And I think off the back of, I can remember, because I've also listened back to our episode from 2018.
Oh, wow.
And it was even clear back then how much you just wanted to empower women to go through different stages. And actually, you talk so clearly about wanting to empower women through birth. Not just birth, but through pregnancy and, taking out all that fear and just kind of passing on strength to women. And I think, so for me, it's not that surprising, actually, that you've gone from menopause to kind of go, I want to empower more people, and that you've gone into birthing. And this book, it's like a beautiful encyclopedia of everything. You know what I mean? And it's gorgeous. And you've joined up with midwife Marley, who's incredible.
So much.
She's brilliant.
She's great, isn't she?
Yeah.
And I wanted to write this book when I had Chester. So, when I spoke to you, I felt very strongly about birth and empowering women and blah, blah, blah. But nobody back then would have let me write a book about birth, because I wasn't known for that. I was presenting Big Brother. It was such a random...
It's also ridiculous because we've been with you for all your births.
I know.
Not like all your
I've
pregnancies.
literally given birth practically with you, haven't I? Like every time.
But so in terms of like all the public figures who we've seen pregnant, who we somehow feel connected to their pregnancy, you are one of them.
Yeah. But it wasn't a thing back then. But the success of menopausing meant that somebody said, would you like to do another book? What would you like it to be about? My first words were birthing. I knew that this was the book I'd always wanted to write. Yeah. It's just slightly gone the wrong way round. But but it's been really nice being able to bring all the things that I've been planning this book for 15 years, so that's such a nice feeling, being able to get it all out and see it in print. I mean, the bit that I love is the resources in the back for everything. We've got resources for every eventuality in your birth. I love the fact that we've got the 5 times more girls in there talking about Black maternal health. It's been really nice to work with them. We've got breathing in their pelvic health. We've got a clinical psychologist who specialises in trauma, birth trauma. Everything is covered. My favourite book I'm sure I told you about this the last time we spoke, was Spiritual Midwifery by Ina May Gaskin. So Ina May Gaskin was an amazing midwife in the 70s in America. And she used to go round in a van and deliver women's babies. And she did a book where she told people stories in terms of their births, and every type of birth, breech, natural, C-section, lots of natural births. She did sections for midwives, so there was lots of medical information in there. And she had this advice for mothers at the time of birth page.
Right.
And it was one of my favourite things. I read it over and over and over again. There was a brilliant bit which said, because she said lots of things where you'd think, what? And she said, keep your sense of humour. It'll help you remember where you're at. And I was thinking, what, in labour? Sense of humour, what? And she says, because if you can't be a hero, at least you can be funny whilst being a chicken. I was like, yeah, I mean, that makes total sense to me, right? I thought, how great is that? And the other thing that she taught me was that as a pregnant woman in a room full of other people, if I hadn't read this book, I would have thought, I'm the most important person in this room. Like, it's all about me. I'm the one in labour. Almost kind of expectant of attention, you know. And what she taught me in this book was that, yes, you are the bringer of life in this situation, and this is a really exciting and powerful and beautiful place for you to be. But everyone else in this room is really important and brings something else. And they are all looking to you for strength and confidence and calmness. So that taught me a lot about every situation in life.
Yeah.
That the experts in the room feed from you as well. They aren't just there to give you advice and support and midwifery expertise.
Yeah.
You are also there to give to them, to empower them to do the best job that they can. So rather than me taking the whole way through all my labours, I also tried to gift during my labours, but often all I had was a please or a thank you, or would it be all right to remember to speak nicely to the people that are there for you, because it's a stressful moment for them to, do you know what I mean? We're all in it together. It's a
With
collective.
the same goal.
And I didn't realise that until I read it in her book, and what a beautiful thing that is. So I was really always thinking about gifting back to the midwife, like, thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
This is such an amazing experience, you know. And in turn, she would gift me. It was a beautiful synergy, great feeling. Everybody working together, It was lovely.
You had amazing births as well.
Oh, my God. I mean, Pam Wild was at all of my births.
Really?
So she delivered all my babies. She's not with us anymore, so I dedicated this book to Pam. And Caroline Flint, who's a mega midwife, she's written loads of great books. She was at the first birth, and Tilly came early, so she was actually away at another birth, I think, but she couldn't make the second one. So Pam was the kind of staple in the whole kind of all of my pregnancy and birth experiences. But it was, all of them were great experiences for different reasons, you know. I laughed in some of them a lot. I mean, the loss of kind of dignity is hilarious.
It's funny, isn't it? I can remember watching things like One Born Every Minute and seeing episodes where, you know, people are deciding what to wear, or, you know, someone's made a nice little bikini for the occasion.
Yeah.
And then you just see the realities of it, and it's like, strip it off.
Yes.
And it's definitely that. I think I went in thinking that I'd do one thing, and then the realities of when you're in the moment, you don't care. Pooing, you don't care.
Oh, pooing's the best. Do you know what's so fun? What I loved?
Yeah.
Because I had two huge fears.
Right.
Tearing.
Yes.
Oh, three. Tearing.
Yeah.
Waters breaking in a supermarket, and pooing. So tearing, after my first birth, she was £8.12, Holly, so I had big uns.
Yeah.
£8.12, £9.11 and £10.2.
Oh my gosh, I literally closed my legs.
Yeah. And by the third one, I was like a wizard's sleeve. Like, he literally just popped out, no tear, nothing.
I wonder if that's a common theme. I wonder if people tear less as they go on.
Yeah.
Because they've already been
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So I was terrified of tearing. And when I first had Holly, I said, oh my gosh, guys, I didn't tear. And they looked at me and went, Yeah, you did. And I thought, oh, that was interesting. I've spent all 9 months
Worrying about
terrified of tearing, and I didn't even feel it.
Yeah.
So you don't even know it's going to happen. So, and you can't feel it. It's not there's too much going on down there for you to realise. So I didn't need to worry about that. My water's breaking anywhere. My water's broke literally 2 seconds before any of the babies came out. So weird. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I wanted
thought
it
your
to be
water's
like-
breaking with the first sign.
Well, did you ever see Look Who's Talking? I thought it would be like that, where she
Yes.
stood on the corner of the street and the waters break and it's
then-
everywhere. And it's
yes,
a gush.
Yes.
I never
was
got the
terrified
gush.
of that. I think as a famous person, I think that's what I thought.
But
please
think of
don't
all the
everybody
people
look at
going
me.
home going, you never guess what I just saw. I saw the insides of Davina coming out.
Oh my God.
People were dining on that for years.
Imagine. So there was that I was really worried about.
Yeah.
And then what was my third one? Pooing.
That pooing is your third one.
Oh, pooing is the third one.
Yeah.
So that was what was interesting. When I was giving birth to Holly, I couldn't give birth in the water. It had all slowed down too much. I was too relaxed. So that I got out. I'd done a few walks up and down the stairs. Came back down to get into the squatting position. I was between Matthew's knees. I was leaning down, bearing down on that. And I'd been pushing for a while, like every contraction, but nothing seemed to be happening. And Caroline looked at me and she said, we need to get this baby out in 3 contractions or I'm going to take you to hospital. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, 3 contractions. She said, is there anything holding you back? I said, I'm a bit nervous of pooing. She said, I can tell. And I thought, isn't that amazing? Yeah. She knew that she needed to have that chat with me. And she just said to me, if you poo, I will be so delighted because I will know that you are doing the right thing. She said, just let go of that thought. She said, if you poo, you won't even see it. It'll be gone. And she was absolutely right. I think I did.
Oh, look,
And
we
I
both
didn't
birthed 3
see it.
times. I've never seen my poo.
Never seen it.
Yeah.
So they're just brilliant at spiriting it away.
Yeah. Whether that's sieving it out, out the water.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny. My daughter really wanted to get in the water when I had Chester. And she came in her school uniform and I'd said they could have the day off school because baby was coming. And then within, half an hour, she was in vest and pants. And then she was in pants and I was like, Holly, I think I can see where this is going. And I just want to let you know, I don't think it's a good idea for you to come in the water. I said, Mummy might do a poo. She's like, horrified. She's like, what? So she was like, oh, God, what? No way. So it's really funny. So she didn't get in the water after that. Yeah.
I guess that's the thing, right? So people have got to think of it as the baby's head is coming down and it's like a tube of toothpaste, right?
Yes.
It's got to move through that.
Yeah.
Whatever's that you can't
Whatever's in the
hold
way,
in
it's got to
one
come out.
side
No.
and let the other side out.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Because I've been thinking quite a bit about surrogacy.
Yeah.
And I'd always thought, I can't imagine how somebody could be a surrogate and let go of that baby.
Yeah.
But I think if I'd have had my 3 earlier, if I'd have started in my 20s and finished at 33, I would have had a surrogate, not for the money.
Yeah.
But I loved carrying and delivering babies. I was, like I said at the end, I was just hoofing Chester out. Like, I was really good at this.
Yeah.
I could do it. It was happening quickly. But to gift somebody a baby which you can make and maybe somebody else can't carry.
Yeah.
And if it was, like when it's somebody else's, it's not your baby.
Yeah.
You're just a vessel. Mm-hmm. But I think if you hadn't had children already, it would be harder to do. But I could imagine myself doing that. I could see it.
One thing I love about you is that you want to spread your joy and spread your love. Well, I can remember you saying that, we know that women have bad experiences.
Yeah.
And you were saying, if you've had a bad experience, come and talk to me.
Yes.
Come and talk to me. I've had my children.
I've done my pregnancies and babies.
Yeah. And that really resonated with me because so often, when we are put in a place of fear, we can't birth our babies in. And even actually, so my third labour, it's not that I was it wasn't that I was fearful, but I was holding it because my second child had fallen off a table and split his head open. And I knew that he'd gone to Royal Holloway to get the stitches sorted out. Basically, I'd gone into labour as we were at the hospital with him, waiting to see the doctor, and they'd put some butterfly stitches on, but they said you have to come back. And I was like, I know that I am.
Yes,
I'm going to be
going.
out. So I got into bed with him that night. We'd called the grandparents over, and I basically, I know that I was full of fear, and it wasn't necessarily about the labour.
No.
But it was about what was happening to him.
Yeah.
And I suddenly realised I think it got to about, so I'd gone to hospital about midnight, and it got to 3:00 in the afternoon, and I suddenly realised I wasn't breathing. Because I was so full of fear, I was literally breathing to my lungs and not anywhere else.
So interesting, isn't it?
And that was stopping everything.
And I think that we as women only go into labour, full labour, when it is safe to do so.
Yeah.
So you're holding on. One of your kids isn't safe, 100%.
Yeah.
And you can't. This sounds so shallow in comparison to that, but Holly's birthday is on the 22nd of September.
Yeah.
And at Holly's birthday party, 2nd-year-old birthday party, I could feel it starting.
Really?
And I thought, oh no, not on Holly's birthday.
Yeah.
Like your little sister coming along on your birthday for the rest of your life would be quite annoying. So I thought, no, you can't have this baby now, until you can't go into labour until after midnight. And it stopped.
Really?
Yeah. And the niggle stopped. And at 12:15, and I've written it all down in a book, I had another contraction.
It's like, I reckon your body, once it got to midnight, must have just gone, okay.
I'm relaxed.
Right now.
Okay, I can do it now.
And did she come quickly?
Tilly came very quickly, yeah. Yeah, she was a month early.
Oh, wow.
No, she was 3 weeks early. Sorry, 3 weeks early.
Yeah. And your pregnancies were like mine. They were like I had this feeling of like I had no control over. It was like my body was doing it, not me.
Oh yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, when it came to pushing, I always thought from TV and films that you push, but the better way to describe what happens there is your body is expelling a baby. Mm-hmm. You contribute to the expelling, but if you didn't push at all, it would still be expelling. Yeah. It's incredible what your body does then. But when I was pregnant, I wasn't football up the jumper pregnant. Like when you can't tell if someone's pregnant from the back. I was not that person. If you are interested, the final of Big Brother 6, I think it was, Nikki. Okay. Nikki and Pete. Mm-hmm. Nikki Graham. Yeah. I had to go and kind of collect Nikki Graham because she was not hysterical, but like she was kind of when she came out, and there was such a furore for her, like a huge.
Oh my gosh! I remember you having to go in to get her.
And I had to go get her.
Yeah.
And I brought her out, and then I had to sit her down, and I mean, other than kind of slap her in the face, which you would normally do to somebody hysterical, I was thinking this might not be a good move on live television. But I knelt between her legs, and I had her shoulders, and I was like, Nikki, I really need you to look at me. Are you okay? Just stay with me. Just keep looking at me in the eye. It was so intense. She'd basically been hidden away for so long. It was, God, the like 10 weeks, 13 weeks. The noise, the people, the unexpected love, the overwhelm. And but if you go and Google that, you can see that my feet were pregnant, my ankles were pregnant, my cheeks were pregnant. Like I was one of those ladies, like everything was pregnant.
But glorious.
But glorious. And this is the other thing that these midwives made me feel like. Some people would go, oh my goodness, you're blooming. And I knew what that meant, like you're enormous. But whenever I saw Pam, she'd go, oh, you look absolutely perfect. Oh. This is perfect. I said, I don't look too big. She went, no, you look perfect. You're exactly where you're meant to be.
It's a hard thing, that, isn't it? Because during pregnancy, when someone I don't understand what your body does. What your body does.
You can't do anything about it.
You really can't.
No.
So with, so many people hold water, there's
Yes.
water retention.
That was me.
Yeah, so it's that thing of being told how much you're putting on all the time. Like, yeah, you can have a look at what you're eating, but really your body's going to do what your body's going to do.
Yeah. I mean, I have had so many friends who have been told that they are having enormous babies.
Yeah.
And they had 7.5 pounders. And it really is frightening, especially to a first-time mum, possibly not to a second or third, but to a first-time mum when somebody says, oh, your baby's a big one, it's going to be really big. We think it might be 9 or 10 pounds. It's going to make, it's like nothing will shut your cervix quicker than that kind of fear.
Yeah.
And often it's, sometimes women will have a cesarean because of the kind of suspected size of their baby, and it's a 7.5 pounder. So just don't stress about that too much.
Yeah. It's been 7 years
Yeah.
since you were last on.
Yeah, God.
Life's changed a lot living in the last 7 years.
It has. Oh, my goodness.
It's massively changed. And your children are now a lot older.
Yes. So do you want to know how old Chester is now?
Yes, please.
He's turning 19 on Saturday.
Oh, this is your baby.
Nikki Graham and I were together around now 19 years ago.
That's nearly 2 decades.
That's mad.
I mean, do you feel like you're in just a different phase of motherhood now? And, you've got your podcast is Begin Again. Do you feel like it's just a very different wave?
Yeah. I feel in a really nice place.
Yeah.
It's funny because I guess nowadays the proper empty nesting thing doesn't happen as much, I think, as it used to.
Really?
I feel like kids come back all the time. My middle daughter went to Australia for 3 years, but she's coming back for at least 4 months on Saturday,
Right.
which we're really excited about. My daughter Holly lives in Manchester now, but she comes down quite often.
Yeah.
Chester is still really at home. He's taken a year out. He's going to university next year. So he's 19. He'll still be here till he's at least 20 and then going to university. So it's nice. I get to still really enjoy the kids.
Yeah.
But also enjoy a little bit of freedom again,
Was that a daunting thing before it started happening?
I have been a parent who, like I said before, when Holly came out, I was like, I never want to work again.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. She's just robbed me of all my ambition. But at the same time, all through their childhood, I thought the goal for me is that my children walk away from me and never look back. Not because they hate me, but because they feel really confident in themselves and they are looking forward to going out and living their lives, and I want to help them do that. I don't want to have somebody who's still clinging on to my ankle, worried, frightened, a bit scared of the world. I want to try and prepare them for the big, bad world out there and make them excited to go be in it.
Yeah.
And I felt that's what I was gifted by my dad and my stepmom. I was so excited to get out there and work and be part of life and try and find a flat and find a terrible flat and then 6 months later find a much nicer one, and like, how do you find a flatmate? All of those things I discovered on my own.
And is that difficult though with your kids or do you feel like that's just part and parcel to let them go and do those things where things aren't great, there might be a shitty apartment, whatever it is, to kind of just let them go and do it and just discover for themselves?
So I've got 2 amazing bits of advice. So I asked my best friend, one of my best friends, Katie, who had 4 beautiful girls, so nice. How do I have a baby? What do I do? What do they need? And she went, it's easy, it's 2 things. I was like, oh, wow, only 2 things, this is amazing. And she said, love. I was like, yeah, got buckets of that. And she went, and boundaries. I was like, I don't understand, what do you mean? What is a boundary? And she said, we do this a lot as parents. If you do that again, we're not going to do this. Or you'll have to do that. Or this is going to happen.
Yeah.
if you make that, it is a threat, let's face it, because they're probably doing something unsafe and you're trying to stop them from being unsafe.
Yeah.
Mine was usually around seatbelts in the back seat.
Oh, really?
You know, leave your seatbelt on or we will blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But if you don't follow through with the threat of the boundary, they don't feel safe.
Yeah.
Boundaries make kids feel safe. They know where they stand. Mum said, if I did that again, this would happen. I did it again and it happened. If they do it again and it doesn't happen, they think, oh, I can do it again and again and again. And then sometimes it does happen and sometimes it doesn't. It's going to make you feel insecure. I don't know where I stand. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
Do you mean what you say? Oh, do you do what you say? All of these things matter for a kid feeling safe. So I remember once I said to my kids, if you do that again, we won't go to this family party in Australia. And there were certain people there that we were only going to see at the family party.
Right.
And they did it again. And I thought that that was enough of a threat for them to not do it again. I thought they all really want to go. They did it again. And I was like, well, we're not going. And two of them who were old enough to understand what it was, Holly and Tilly, they were catatonic with grief. And I was going into the bathroom, locking myself in the loo and thinking, why did you say that? Why was that the forfeit? You really wanted to go to that party. I was so angry with myself. You absolute numpty. You know, we're not going to go and get a chocolate croissant in the morning would be a much better threat.
Yes, you can live without the croissant.
Yes. So we didn't go. But you know, that's what Katie meant.
Yeah.
Love and boundaries. The second one is epic and has been so helpful for me, and it's for your listeners who have got kids that are a bit older.
Yeah.
It's about teenagers. And she said, never say no to a teenager. And I was like, I mean, obviously you're joking. You've got to say no to teenagers. You can't just let them take drugs or, you know, do something, I don't know, drive a car if they haven't got a driver's license. You got to say no.
Yeah.
You go, she said, no. You sit down and you go, okay, tell me what you want to do. It's like, I want to go to the party. I want to come back at 3. And they're 14 or something.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, not on your Nelly. You're not coming back at 3 from a massive party. You know, there's probably much older kids. No way. But I go, so tell me about the party. Like, who said 3 o'clock? And they explain everything. And then I'll say, okay, look, tomorrow I've got to get up at 8:30 to go and walk the dogs and blah, blah, blah. Is there any way that we could negotiate on the time? Because I'm struggling a bit. Like, what about 12:30? They go, are you joking? Can't do 12:30. Everybody else like staying till 2 or 3, like, please. And you go,
I love the
okay.
accent that you've
Yeah,
got.
I suddenly went like a bit, I went a bit Bath.
Where are your
Bristol.
kids from?
My kids are from Bristol. I'm from Tunbridge Wells. Kids weirdly grew up with a random Bristol accent.
I'm sorry, we get the point, but it's so funny not to reference. Oh, Mum, what are you doing? I want to stay till 2. 2 or 3. Come on, Mum.
Oh my God, I've gone mad. Help me. Oh God. Yes. So then they said no. No. Sorry.
Yeah.
So basically, then the idea is negotiation.
Yeah.
So the idea is that you give some ground and they give some ground, or the idea is that they talk about, I don't know what, getting their ears pierced or going, and you know, I remember my daughters bringing a really good argument to me when they were 12
Right.
about why they wanted, 13 was the age, and they said 12, and it was to do with the fact that a lot of time has passed since I was 13 and life is... And I was like, guys, that is actually a really good argument. And I congratulated them. I didn't care if they got their ears pierced a year before. Do you know what I mean? But what it did give me an opportunity to do is to give them some autonomy and for them to feel empowered because they made a decision about their own life. And not only that, their mum was impressed by it. Like they impressed me with the argument that they brought. They thought it out. They talked about it together. I was like, wow, this is actually great.
We're so used to saying no, though.
Yeah.
And I also think that we're in a hurry all the time. So it's just a blanket no, let's move on.
Yes.
No time for that.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I've said because I've said so. And actually, it is that being listened to, having a conversation, it's such a different thing. It sets a very different tone. And to be sat there discussing something, it's just more respectful.
Do you know what's interesting? I just thought about while you were talking. Isn't it funny how we also need to do that in relationships?
Yeah.
Because we are all so busy in our relationships, and especially if you've got multiple children and you want to go, do you want to, no, just like no.
Yeah.
But actually it's like, let me just ask you, why do you want to, oh, well, hang on a minute. Let's talk about that for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's sit down and have a very quick cup of tea. Why do you want me to come to that thing with you? And then go, oh, okay, so it would really mean something. All right, I'll come. We just don't have the time for those niceties anymore.
Yeah.
And when you were saying about blanket now, I thought, isn't it interesting that we also sometimes do that with our partners? Having kids with someone that you really love is so like multi-layered.
Yeah.
There's such a deep and beautiful understanding of each other that comes with it. And co-parenting or both being the parents of a child is such an honour. But then also you lose something because you're both focusing on these kids and you stop focusing on each other, and it's so important. So try and remember to also negotiate with your partner and don't do the blanket no to them either.
I know, but that is such a massive thing, isn't it? Because ultimately parenthood changes both parents.
Yeah.
It has to.
Yeah.
And life changes people.
Yeah, of course.
And when you are only able to offer crumbs to that person because you are so depleted, because you can't bear to be asked another thing, you know, your to-do pile is big enough or you're touched out or whatever, it's really hard.
Yeah, it's
on
so
relationships.
hard. I mean, it is really difficult, and I think time is so precious.
Yeah.
And now I've got a little bit more of it because my kids are more grown up.
Yeah.
I've realised how much I've missed little snippets of time.
Yeah.
But just remember, all of you that are in the thick of it, that you will at some point, and so many people said this to me, and I was like, yeah, whatever, that you will at some point look back and really miss the bit that you're in right now. Yeah. Like, enjoy every moment of your kids, your partner at this time in your lives. And 5 minutes with your partner is better than nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just but if, you know, find time for each other because you don't want to become strangers.
And you can.
It's so easy.
So easily become strangers.
Yeah.
Obviously, something quite massive happened last year.
Yeah.
With your brain tumor.
Yeah.
Davina, I can't even. The fact that the way that you found out, you know, you've just got offered this, you know,
chance.
Because of work, you got offered this medical thing.
I didn't want to do it.
Well, because sometimes it's like, I've got a busy day.
Who's got 2 days? It was a 2-day thing. And I thought, I'm fitness lady.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm me. I don't need it. And you know what's been interesting? And again, I can actually sort of slightly compare this to birth.
Yeah.
Oh, I might cry.
That's okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah. I'm here. I'm here.
Often I can't talk about it without crying.
Yeah.
And I know that some women go through a birth that slightly makes them feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that means it was traumatic for me. You know, I think I've been through a trauma. I'm one of those people who tries to put a positive spin on everything.
Yeah.
And I spend all my time going, I knew if I got through it, this would be the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And I do feel so grateful still. But I know I've got to go back and do some work on this because I can't do this. I can't talk about it without feeling like this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't think there's any way you can go through that and not be affected by it. I honestly don't. That's in your brain. That is, you know, that's your life. You've got kids, you know.
Yeah.
It's...
I mean, I did some work on myself that I feel I can take with me forever, which was I did have an abject terror of dying, because I think I've got kids and I know that any mum, your biggest fear is leaving your children and would they be okay?
Yeah.
And mine are a bit older now, so it was slightly different for me. But I did look at each one of them as an individual and play through what it would be like for them if I didn't make it. And I saw them all living a full and happy life, and they would be okay.
Yeah.
And they've got each other, which is lovely, and they love each other very much. And they've got, you know, other people around them who love and care for them very much. And being able to trust the sort of doctor and the anaesthetist and the nurses in that room and go, I know that you are going to do a great job and I have total faith in you. And I'm going to let go of the outcome.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I might die, but I'm just letting go of that. I might not.
Do you really feel like you could?
I did.
Because you had quite the lead up before the actual surgery as well.
Yeah.
So in that time, I mean, I know you worked super hard to get all your work done as well. You got everything out of the way so you didn't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah.
But getting your affairs in order, enabled to have this major surgery, and then give yourself time to recover afterwards. And do you think having that time enabled you to really piece together what you wanted it to, how you wanted to deal with it?
Yeah, I feel like it's a gift in a way to have let go of that. Like I feel, how old are you?
40.
So I'm 58 in October. And I'm thinking about what am I going to do for my 60th.
That's great. I can remember your 50th. I don't know how you're your 60th.
It was good, right?
No, I didn't get to go. You invited me. I couldn't make
Bollocks.
it.
Come to the 60th.
Yeah, there we go.
And I feel like none of us are going to escape death.
Yeah.
And longevity has become something of an obsession. And it becomes such an obsession that it becomes stressful. All these different things that we have to do to try and stay alive for longer.
Yeah.
We've got to get our sleep patterns correct. We've got to get de-stressed. We've got to try and, exercise like a maniac. You're drinking, it's terrible for you. Like, we're just told nonstop. But these things, you telling us all of this stuff actually becomes stressful.
Yeah.
Which then causes inflammation. Stress causes inflammation. It's just stop worrying about everything. But worrying about death is another worry.
Yeah.
Which only brings it closer to you. So, in a sense, I was quite grateful for that. But what I didn't anticipate was how difficult the 6 months after would be. I did very well in approaching the operation and the lead up to the operation and going to sleep. But I just thought life would go back to normal quite quickly, and I didn't go back to normal.
Had you thought about the fact that when you woke up, you wouldn't quite know, where your brain was?
I didn't understand. And people had said your short-term memory might be affected, but I just didn't really get what that meant.
Right.
I just thought I wouldn't remember what I'd just done. But I wasn't aware that my memory was so bad, which for anybody with a loved one who has Alzheimer's or dementia, they are not aware. So the only time that they are aware is when you shine a light on it. And then they feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
And then they might get a bit defensive or a bit behave a bit funny because they've been made to feel stupid.
Right.
or they are aware that they're not normal. So the best way to help somebody who's got short-term memory loss is to just keep repeating the thing that they keep asking you to do and not say, I told you. Or...
But that's something that you all had to learn.
Yes.
You know, and the kids have to, you know, kind of understand.
I mean, what was interesting was I just became superhuman at reading faces.
Really?
And so Michael, who spent the, you know, majority of the time with me, I've never seen him struggle with spending time with me. But sometimes he was telling me, sometimes I'd ask him the same thing like 7 times in half an hour.
Right.
And he'd have to leave the room for a bit. But it wasn't normal. What was happening wasn't our normal life. And I had long-term memory. I could remember. And I thought, oh, he doesn't want to be with me. But in the end, we had a chat. And he said, what are you talking about? I love you. Of course I want to be with you. He said, you're actually just a bit annoying at the moment. And I laughed so hard with relief. I was so relieved to find out that it was a thing that will get better.
But that's fascinating, Davina, the fact that after birth we feel like that, during like the perimenopause we feel like that, and you've experienced it again. Like that questioning yourself, feeling like it's me, they don't want to be with me. You know, it doesn't matter how many times you get to that point, you still believe what your brain is telling you in that way.
God, it's mad. And that was really, you know, losing yourself, which, like you've said, I didn't really think of it like that, like I've done it with birth and then with menopause and then with this, you know, is horrible.
Yeah.
And I really get that. But I knew I was still in there. And sometimes I just wanted to shout, please remember me. I'm still here. I'm trying to get back to you. But I don't know how to do it. Wait for me. I promise you I'm not going to be this annoying forever.
Just a little bit, but not this annoying.
It's just annoying in a different way, right?
But tricky to navigate.
But what was
not
really
knowing...
nice, like he said to me at one point, he said, if you ever can't find me, we're talking metaphorically, you know, if you ever can't get to me, stay where you are and I will come find you. And I knew he meant it. Like, it was like, just don't worry.
Yeah.
We are together forever. We're going to get through this and I'm going to find you, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And, you know, that meant the world to me. And if I'm really honest, you know, we had a light bulb moment maybe after 5 months.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
That is a long time. And also not knowing quite if this is your new normal. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I knew it
knowing.
wasn't. So I could feel myself getting better.
Yeah.
I used to call them small wins.
Right.
Like finding my way back to a table in a restaurant from the toilet was a win.
Right.
I'd get back to the table with some friends and I'd go, yes! And they'd be like, oh, this is weird.
I know you!
This is weird. And I'd be like, no, I found my way back from the loo. And they're all like, yeah. I go, no, this is a new thing. This is really exciting. And I'd have these little wins all day, every day. I had a really mega one recently.
Right.
I was with a girlfriend and she'd been talking to a guy and he said he'd opened a hotel in Joshua Tree.
Okay.
And I had to do the same thing. Thought process. You saw me do it, right?
Yeah.
So he was opening a hotel in Joshua Tree and then the next day we were somewhere and she said, where was that guy going to open a hotel? And I went, Michael loved a band. That was U2. U2 had an album. Joshua Tree. And I burst into tears. She burst into tears. She's a really good friend of mine and she hadn't really thought about what she was asking me. But as I was thinking, she looked a bit worried.
Right.
Because she'd done the thing that might make somebody that can't remember feel bad.
Yeah.
If they can't remember. And she was like, oh, God, I've asked her a question. She's not going to know the answer. And I did the thought process. And I said, Joshua Tree. And she went, oh! And I cried, she cried. It was like a mega, And so that's a small win for most people. But for me, it was huge.
That sounds massive.
And they said a year to 18 months. So 18 months will be May next year.
Right.
So May next year, I'll probably have a bit of a party for me and Michael for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'll go, get used to me, because this is probably who I'm going to be for the rest
This
of
is
my
my
life.
level of annoying.
Yeah.
It's not changing. I like that. But for you, this is a massive pivotal life moment, which it is that classic thing of when something like this happens, it does make someone reevaluate their life and more grateful.
Yes.
But it's also collided with the kids going off.
Yes.
Or the kids getting at an age where actually you do have your time again and life looks very, very different. It's interesting that it's happened at the same time, and that must feel even more massive than it would have done without it.
Like a house of cards.
Yeah.
It's like somebody's taken the bottom card and the whole thing's collapsed. But what I see there is a blank canvas.
Right.
And a chance to rebuild something completely different.
Yeah.
Like, one of the greatest things that Michael has taught me around being a parent is, rather than controlling, which is what I can do with my kids and go, right, I think you should do this, or, well, when I did that, like, you want to do this. He's like, why don't you try just putting the ball in their court and see what happens? And I started doing that maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And he gave me a great phrase to use. And he said, and I think this would work with toddlers. What do you think you should do about that? What do you think you should do about that? Like, or what are you going to do about that? And it's so brilliant watching them go, I think I'm going to... So if they say, I want to have another bit of cheese, and you go... well, we're going to have lunch in a minute. So what do you think you're going to do about that? Rather than say, no, you can't have any because we're going to have lunch in a minute. They'll go, I'll wait for lunch. Or they'll go, I want the piece of cheese. And you go, fine. But it's learning that your decisions have an impact. So then you might go, you didn't finish your lunch. Maybe that's because you had the piece of cheese.
Yeah.
But they made that decision.
Yeah.
It's so... these little things, it's so interesting. So I've got I've levelled the playing field.
Yeah.
And I am restarting my life. It was quite funny. Sorry, we were just talking about the kids leaving. When I came home from hospital, I walked through the front door and my son came down the stairs. It was so good to see him. Oh, my God. I just gave him a massive hug and he went, I didn't know it was that serious. And I'd done quite a good job then. I'd obviously done quite a good job, of not making playing it down. He'd gone to school. He had people looking out for him at school and asking him if he was okay. And there's the newspapers. He was like, God, Mum's done a thing.
But you said to me earlier, it's that thing of you only shared it when you knew that you were okay. So you didn't have to have any of that noise. You didn't have to carry that in with you.
Yes.
It was you going through it, you and the family, you and Michael kind of just navigating it yourselves before it had to go, and you had to go out there. What
was brilliant was when somebody said to me, "Don't tell anybody that's going to blow it up, or be anxious, or only tell calm people."
Yeah.
And that was so true. And I hardly told anybody. I told. I had my birthday, some friends over for my birthday on the 16th of October, and I called my tumour Jeffrey, and I had an FU Jeffrey party, and we told everybody then. And then we said, we're having the operation in a month, don't worry, we're fine with it. Obviously, they were worried, but they all just sort of, tried to kind of put a brave face on it, and they were brilliant, all my mates. They were so helpful. And then I just didn't want to talk about it again until the op. And then we put out the announcement while I was on the operating table because I just didn't want to see or hear any of the furore. I didn't watch the telly. I didn't even know it had been on the telly. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, somebody may have told me, but I didn't remember. So I had no idea. I still have no idea. I haven't looked it up of anything, like what what it was like, but I knew that I was going to give them enough information where they wouldn't have to dig for more. I gave them everything in that one announcement, and it worked very well for me. That
I was.
it was done.
Yeah,
you know.
Davina, if you were going to write a letter on motherhood, who would it be to, and what would you say? I mean, you've written a whole book, but let's just go for one letter.
What's quite interesting is the first thing I thought about was my mum. And she really struggled with being a parent. And it would be a kind of I'm letting you go, like I let you off the hook type of letter, because I spent my whole life trying to get her to be a mum to me. I kind of wanted Angela Lansbury, and I got like this free, wild, like fire, sexy, mad woman who just couldn't do it because she'd never been parented herself. And I now really understand that.
Yeah.
She didn't have it in her. She didn't purposefully not parent me. Mm-hmm. She couldn't. She didn't know how. And she was jealous of me and my sister and our youth. Mm-hmm. And I would, it would be a letter of forgiveness, I think, really, about, and how all the mistakes that she made helped me know what I don't want to do, and made me a better parent, and kind of in a weird sort of way thank her for that as well.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a letter to her. Yeah. It's sad, really, when I think about her. She's gone, and I tried to help her, but we ended up estranged. And just a shout out to any mums out there who are estranged from their mums. It's like a cardinal sin, being estranged from your mum. People are always like, well, but you'll get in touch in the end. And sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to let that go.
But people don't know the history, do they? And I think with you carrying that in your heart, though, of that kind of forgiveness, however you want to sort of word that, that is the only way for you to carry on through life. Do you know what I mean?
Can I write a PS to my letter?
Yes, you may.
I would write a love letter to my stepmom.
Yeah. Such an important role in something.
She's the best. And I couldn't see her until like a year ago in her true light.
Really?
Yeah, because I was too busy trying to get my mum to parent me, but I had the perfect mother right there under my nose. And then secondly, my mum was so difficult, but everybody used to tell me how like my mum I was.
That's got to be hard.
Yeah, and I used to think, oh, she probably doesn't like me very much because I'm so like my mum. But I decided that, not that she didn't like me, but that I'd put an intention in her towards me that was a bit like wrong. And actually last year I just replaced that with pure love. I could see all she's ever done is love me. And we just fell in love.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
She's been in your life for so long.
Yeah, and she's amazing. She's the best granny to my kids. No. She's the best mum to me and Michael. She's so helpful. She's great. Thanks, Gabby. I love you. Yeah.
I just think stepmums are such an important role,
so
and
good.
they can be so vital in someone's life.
Did you have one?
Yeah, I've got one. I've got a stepmum. Yeah, and she's wonderful. She's wonderful, Debbie. And
big up, Debbie.
Big up, Debbie.
Big up, Debbie.
She never had her own kids, but I feel like she has always loved us as if we were her own. And we were, early 20s teenagers when Debbie first, was on the scene. So she's been in our life for almost 2 decades.
Wow.
And to see her with the grandkids, it's just wonderful. I think it's such a gift. A gift for her, a gift for us.
But I'm sure Debbie feels that you're a gift because you have let her in. It takes Debbie to be a lovely person for you to let her in, but also you're a lovely person to let her in. Does that make sense? It's a reciprocal thing. It's very important. One without the other doesn't work.
But we're very lucky in our family.
You make your own luck, though, because you're lovely people. That's how come.
But Mum and Dad have made it work. You know what I mean? They've made it work.
Yes, totally.
And that commute, that
yes.
We have holidays together. Christmas.
Wow.
We're so, I am going to say lucky. I'm just very grateful that we have that.
Yeah.
Davina, we end the podcast with you completing 3 sentences.
God, I love you so much, Giovanna. No, seriously, I do. I love you so much. You're just the most amazing woman.
Shush you, let me cry again.
Sorry.
Being a mum means
doing the absolute best I can for the rest of my life to love, protect, enjoy, educate, and entertain and embarrass my children and let go of every expectation and just let them be exactly who they are.
Since having children, I
have become so much wiser, so much more patient, so much more understanding and forgiving, and so much more full of laughter and joy.
And I'm happy when?
I am happy when we're all together.
I love that.
Oh, man, there's nothing quite like it. And it's going to happen for the first time in 3 years.
Oh, wow.
On Friday.
Whoa.
Wait, tomorrow.
Hey! Davina, thank you so much. Thank you.
I never wanted that to end.
I know.
It's so mad, isn't it? It's like, fuck.
You are,
I really enjoyed that more than I actually think I should have done. Like, that was so nice.